and I was searching for alternative medicines. I was searching for, help from all these different doctors around my city, and I was looking for all these fixes. And after a few years, I realized, I'm like, okay, this is not helping me. In fact, I'm only getting worse. How's it going? Miguel here with CFS Recovery. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 things not to do if you're trying to recover from CFS. Now, on my channel, I talk a lot about things you should do that are probably better to do than others. I give you guys practical tips. I tell you guys, a lot of different advice about how to get better. Not too often do I tell you guys what not to do. So this video is specifically 3 things not to do if you have CFS. Now, when I was sick for about 4.5 years, I tried everything under the sun. And, if I just knew these 3 things, then it would have helped me a lot on my journey, because I wasted a lot of time running around trying to recover in so many different ways. And there were just, when I think back, there was so much wasted time and energy. So hopefully with this video, you're able to save months, if not years, on your journey, so that way you can cut through all the noise and the BS, in this industry, and then especially with CFS, and get to the point and really be able to focus on the right thing. So let's start with number 3, and that is trying to look for fixes. And I was in the same boat as you, if you're someone who's constantly trying to look for fixes right now, and that makes sense. In the beginning, when we first get this, maybe for the first few months or the first couple of years, we are searching for everything, because we probably didn't even know what CFS was. We didn't know it existed. All we knew is we felt absolutely brutal. And I went to family doctors. I went to emergency several times. I went to endocrinologists, naturopaths, neurologist, cardiologist. I had to wear Holter monitors a couple times. I got x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs, nerve conduction tests. They tried different medications on me, and all these things were not working, but I was continuing to go down this deep, deep rabbit hole, and I was searching for alternative medicines. I was searching for, help from all these different doctors around my city, and I was looking for all these fixes. And after a few years, I realized, I'm like, okay, this is not helping me. In fact, I'm only getting worse, but I'm spending thousands upon thousands. And so what I wish I would have done back then is, found a good reputable source, people who have recovered from CFS who are in my position. And if I could do what they did, that would have saved me a lot of time. But back in the day, there wasn't a lot of that information around. So that is definitely something that I would do differently, is, stop trying to look for these fixes, especially quick fixes, especially things that sound too good to be true. And I would try to stick to 1 or 2 main things, or follow, 1 or 2 specific people and listen to everything they had to say, so I'm not getting all these conflicting beliefs and concepts and frameworks, and it just gets really, really confusing. I would have stopped looking for all the fixes and just stuck to one path. Because if you think about all the time and energy that's used, imagine you have someone in the center over here. So this is person, right? You're going over here to look for a solution. That doesn't work out, so you go back to where you were. You run over here, look for a solution. That doesn't work out. Back to where you were, look over here. And then at the end of the day, look how far you've run. You've run like back and forth so many times, but you end up back at square one. And it's just, all that time and energy has just gone down the drain. Of course, in the beginning, you do need to do a lot of testing and see a lot of people to cross things off the list. But when you're getting test results back and they're not finding anything, and they've literally checked almost everything, and they can't find anything, then that's how this is like a nervous system issue. So it's not a bad idea to go get a bunch of these things tested, as much as you can, just to rule out any possibility of it being some hidden thing that you have. But if you have gotten a lot of tests done, there's a very, very high chance that you have a nervous system issue, and that's what's causing the CFS. So moving on to number 2, it's waiting to get better, or waiting for the storm to pass. Now, for a normal person, when they feel tired, what is the first thing they think of doing? Rest. Of course, it's rest, right? If they injure themselves or hurt their leg, what heals it? Going to physio maybe, doing the right things, the right treatments for it, but also time. Time heals that. What I didn't realize is that with CFS, you have to do a lot of neuroplasticity work, and you cannot just wait it out. Time is not something that solves this. And how I know that is because at my worst, about 4 years into my illness, I had to go live with my grandparents because I was very, very sick. Could not feed myself, could not go to the washroom by myself, could not bathe, could barely even brush my teeth sometimes or lift up a spoon to my mouth. It was bad for about 6 months. So I pretty much stopped working, stopped everything I was doing. So physically and emotionally and mentally, there weren't things in my life that would, that you would think would trigger me, that would cause me a lot of stress. So I was in bed 99.9% of the time, not moving at all, not doing anything, not listening to music, not doing much, and I was getting worse. Because my idea when I moved to my grandparents' house was that, okay, if I could just spend enough time here, time will heal my body. So let me just kind of weather the storm, wait it out. What I didn't realize is that time does not solve CFS. It doesn't just fix itself. It's not a problem that just does that, because when you're in CFS, you're stuck in a downward spiral. And the key word there is spiral. Like, you are literally spiraling out of control. Your nervous system is going haywire. Technically, it's a positive feedback loop. Let's just call it a feedback loop, but it's moving in a bad direction. So typically how it works, and I could do a whole nother video on this, and I have in the past, but you'll get a lot of symptoms and you'll get a lot of anxiety, fears, panic. That only increases the sensitivity of your nervous system. When your nervous system is more sensitive, symptoms go up. As symptoms go up, you're more anxious and wired. You're more anxious and wired, symptoms go up. So this whole thing, it's like this crazy spiral where, you're just getting worse and worse and worse. And that's how I know that time does not fix something like this, because I was like landsliding. I was getting exponentially worse as time went on. And that leads me to number one is, you cannot be passive in your recovery. And what do I mean by that? In addition to time, we think that we just have to completely shut off and our body will kind of sort itself out. Or, we just stay in bed and this whole thing will blow over. So in addition to time, it's also the passiveness that we have to this thing. Now, in certain areas, we might not be passive, right? We're being active in the sense that we're trying to go to doctors, we're trying these diets, we're trying all these different things. But all of those things are looking for solutions outside of ourselves. And really the solution is up here. It's rewiring of the nervous system. And the truth is, no one can do that for you. You have to literally rewire your brain. Someone like me, I can help you do that. I can help facilitate that. I can help reinforce these beliefs and help keep you on track, but I cannot do the work for you. And everybody with CFS who has recovered, they will tell you the exact same thing, that they had to have multiple mind shifts in order to start the healing process. Now, me being passive in my recovery, I was not only just trying to wait out this illness and wait for time to do its thing or work its magic, just like how it would heal a wound or a cut or an injury. That's what I thought about this whole thing. I thought my nervous system was, injured, essentially. But I didn't realize how much effort you have to put into yourself and your mindset and rewiring your thoughts in order to start to get better. You need to have these mind shifts in order to start shifting momentum in the right direction and creating an upward spiral versus staying on that downward spiral. I actually had to do a lot of internal work in order to start moving in the right direction and create an upward spiral. In fact, there's a book that I always like to read and just refresh my mind, but it's called The Upward Spiral. And this talks a lot about depression and how that can have physical effects on the body and how it involves the nervous system. If you interchange the word depression with CFS, you will resonate with almost everything in this book. Like, a lot of it will make sense, because at the end of the day, this book talks about how to rewire your nervous system, how to shift out of that downward spiral and create an upward spiral, like I was talking about. So if you did want to check this book out, you can get a free trial if you don't already have audible.com. I'll leave the link down below. Really good read. I also have the Audible version of this. But anyways, back on topic, I had to be really active in my recovery in order to kind of turn things around and create that momentum moving in the right direction. So essentially, in a nutshell, the three things, I'm just going to reiterate them again, is constantly trying to look for quick fixes, or not even quick fixes, but having a scattered brain looking everywhere for that one fix, that one magical thing that could help me. Number two was waiting for this thing to be over, waiting for CFS to heal itself, letting time try to do its thing, relying on time to heal me when that wasn't the case. And number one is I was very passive in my recovery. I would leave a lot of it up to other people or, some certain supplement or a doctor or a medication to try to heal me. And I did try a lot of stuff myself, but I didn't realize, there was an actual specific step-by-step way to recover. And it's almost like a combination lock. I couldn't just try all these different things and expect it to work. You have to do things in a certain order to allow your body to heal and to allow your body to kind of gain trust with you again and for things to click. So those are 3 things you should definitely not do, and avoid them as much as you can. And it's not easy, I'll tell you right now. If it was easy, you would be out of this mess right now. Maybe you've been struggling with it for a few months or a few years or maybe even over a decade. The bottom line is you don't have to stay like this. And maybe you have been stuck in this trap and you've been kind of stuck in this hamster wheel, trying all these different things, but nothing seems to be working. And maybe you're doing some of these things that I mentioned in this video, and that's okay. That is okay. The past is the past. What really matters is right now, what you do moving forward. So try to reverse those things and instead try doing a lot of things that I mentioned in this video up here. 7 ways to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. And if you did want some really detailed, specific hands-on help, then definitely apply to our Recovery Jumpstart program. You'll be personally working with me. You'll be working also in a small group setting. We only limit the groups to 8 people to make sure everybody has an immersive experience and people are involved. And so far, we've been able to help a lot of people improve. We even helped one person, get back on her feet. She's working again. Another member is now making a lot of music. It's something that he's very passionate about. And, at the beginning of the program, he was hesitant to pick up the instrument. And, we encouraged him to just try 5 minutes a day. And then that led to writing lots and lots of songs. And, other people are having lots of mind shifts. And it's really that group environment that helps you. So if you needed some extra help, some extra hands on deck for your journey, if you're really ready to commit and buckle down and do this thing right once and for all, just make sure to hit that link down below. You can apply, see if you're a good fit for the program. It's by application only, so just because you apply doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get in, because we want to make sure you're the right fit for the program. But of course, if you're watching this right now, then you're probably somebody who's pretty serious about wanting to get better. I mean, who wouldn't want to get better? So if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And just remember, you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. I'll see you guys in the next video.